Hello and welcome to this week's episode of 9 to 5 Nerds. There are a ton of people here today. We will try not to talk over each other, but of course it's myself, Cory Urkel.
Yep.
The regular guest, Katrina Swathwood.
Hello.
We have Cory, we're just going to call him Cory number 2. I don't actually know your last name.
Noel, like the Christmas song.
Okay, that is... Alright. Cory Noel, Lacie Ewing.
Yep. Good job.
Yay!
Thank
Finally.
you. And Anthony Smith.
What's up?
The long return of Anthony Smith.
Yes. The long return. He's busy. This...
Something like that.
This week's episode will be American Gods. It's on as we speak.
Yeah.
As far as the book goes, I've read it. Cory's read it. Katrina's read it twice.
Yes.
Lacey's read half of it.
Yeah, I'm halfway.
And Anthony and Cory number 2 haven't read it at all, I'm assuming.
Nope. I know just about nothing about the series.
It's not a series, it's just one book.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting after, because we're going to pause it, we're going to watch it, and then we're going to talk about it afterwards. What's going to be interesting is the perspective that everybody's going to have when there's varying degrees of what people have read, going as far as half a book to nothing to 2 times.
First time doesn't count. I wouldn't remember.
You didn't remember the second time, probably.
Probably not.
Cory probably retains the most information that
Yes.
he reads.
No, I mean, you guys are reading it. You're reading it now, I'm sure. At least you will.
We'll see.
We've been looking forward to this for quite a while. Katrina since Comic-Con, because you read it before Comic-Con.
I read it how many years ago? Like 3 years ago?
Yeah. And I started reading it right before Comic-Con last July. I had only read a couple chapters, though, so I'm not... I wasn't up to speed when we were going through the booth that they had there with the
Boneyard?
Great White Buffalo. What?
Nothing.
Anything you guys are looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to seeing Ian McShane because he's awesome in everything I've ever seen him in.
I didn't
Except
watch...
for Game of Thrones, for that split second.
He was
in it.
fine, though.
But he died in like 5 minutes. That's not
I think
fair.
he served his purpose just
to reintroduce the
Yeah.
Hound to violence.
Yeah, basically.
Fair enough.
But I never watched Deadwood.
Oh, that's an awesome show.
I didn't either.
I feel like I need to.
Oh.
Did you watch it, Cory?
No, I didn't.
That's a good show. You guys need
Maybe
to
we'll
watch
add it
that.
on when we get HBO during the summer.
Yeah, I feel like it's...
You gotta watch The Wire first, right?
Yeah. I feel like both of those are one of my blind spots.
It sucks because that show got canceled and they left it on like a pretty big like cliffhanger.
Oh, then I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, that makes me not want to watch it.
It's so good though. He plays Mr. Swearingen.
Now he's playing Mr.
Mr.
Wednesday. But the early reports on this show are that it could be the next big thing.
I don't like
What?
early reports, but we've talked about what I'm afraid of is it's based on like one book. How many pages is it, Katrina?
400 and something.
And it's going to be split into multiple seasons.
So,
Like, content in the book-wise, there shouldn't be
But
that
he's
much.
plan on doing a sequel to it.
The book?
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, unless things from the sequel are going to be in the show. I mean, I assume the show's going to be 2-3 seasons off one book, which
Yeah.
is an awful lot. It's got to be off the pages in the show.
There also are shorter seasons. I mean,
How many episodes? Do you think?
8 episodes.
8.
I was about to ask that. Yeah.
Still, if you compare it to Game of Thrones, a book that's bigger, longer, and they get consecutively longer, has 10 episodes, and they had to cut so many corners and stuff out of the book.
He also drags on and on and on about food and all kinds of garbage and stuff in Game of Thrones. I mean, they're really terrible books.
But, so, I know you said this season doesn't even get to, like... It was like, not even... It was like a couple chapters in is where you think the season's going to end.
A couple chapters? To
So
where
they
they
get
get
the
on
house
the rock?
Dude, it's not that far into the
That's
book.
a third of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At best. Like, it wasn't even that far. He hadn't realized... Like, it was at that point he realized they were gods, basically.
Spoiler alert.
I know.
Yeah.
But he seemed like he spent so much more
Called
time...
American Gods.
He doesn't
There was
know.
only one.
Okay.
Yeah, we had this argument.
Jeez.
But
Anyways.
I'll wait to see how the pacing is. I just don't want it to be too terribly slow.
I think that there's a lot of room for expanding on what's going on because there are so many different gods involved to where you could expand anywhere you wanted to, especially with Neil Gaiman being on board with the series. I mean,
Obviously, some stuff's going to be out of order if they show Jaquez or some of the gods from Cairo,
yeah.
and they show them in the trailer and they're in the movie. And if Cairo was at least that's
Halfway through the book.
maybe if you guys are saying about a third of it is The Rock, then yes.
Yeah, because I'm almost halfway and I'm not there yet.
At the Rock?
No, I'm past that.
She's not a Cairo
you're not a
yet.
Cairo.
You're with the girl, the hitchhiker girl.
After that, yeah, I'm past that.
Then you're right.
She's right
there.
there.
You're right
basically.
there. And then what after that? He goes Lakeside, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm very interested to see. Obviously, we're not going to get to see it this season, but
Well, you don't know. Things to be out of order.
Lakeside, and the old man. I can't remember what his name
I
is
can't remember either, but
off the top of my head. But in that whole situation there, and that
That might be a season 2 thing.
yeah, and
Season
that comes
3.
full circle. So that's interesting. But it's. I really want to see Mad Sweeney.
That first episode.
I don't
yeah,
know.
I think
Is it?
so. I think so.
I really want to see the fight between Shadow and Mad Sweeney.
Or they at least meet in the first episode.
Do you think he's going to meet Pimple Face Kid? This
Technical boy?
episode? Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so.
I like that kid.
Really?
Well,
the
no, you like him.
No, not like I like him like that, but I like
person who's playing
Yeah.
him? Okay.
Who's playing him?
I don't know, but when I saw the trailer, it's like that kid fits.
They show him for like 1 second.
Which is
like,
weird
the
because
pan
I
out
said
in
the exact
limo.
opposite. Because he's supposed to be...
He looked like a rich kid, not a pimple like geek kid, which
Yeah.
like the book described.
Well, it's TV.
But I think the rich kid like thing fits
No,
because
I-
he's
I
new
get
and
it.
suave. He's technology.
right.
I felt
You're
that.
not getting any of this. You're like,
don't
You'll be able to
understand.
talk more
Fuck, what are you
afterwards.
talking about?
Well, what I'm confused about, does it take place in like modern time, like now, or is it
You'll
like
find out this
80s?
stuff when we watch
Yeah,
the show.
Fair enough.
He wrote it 12 years ago.
More than likely, this will be a lot of flashbacks.
Yeah, I thought that Shadow was a great casting, and Cory said he didn't even realize that he was black, and I swear
High five. I had no idea.
they make reference to him when he's in prison.
I started back and I looked. It's not super subtle, but it's not like saying, "Hey, you're a black guy."
No,
It's
he
like,
says, "Hey, you got something blood in you." I don't use that word, but
I
along
must have
those
glossed
lines.
right
I
over
did the same
because-
thing. It could have just been an insult, like calling him a stupid. Yeah,
Yeah.
It seemed like the least important thing going on.
What did you think
in
he
that scene.
looked like?
I just thought he was a big guy. I imagined Thor, to be honest.
Yeah.
I imagined Chris Hemsworth.
Well, maybe you guys are just skipping words and skipping lines when you're reading. Maybe.
It was in my instant picture of him in my head.
Everybody's mind, but there is a specific, like you said, you went back. There's a specific part where I think it's like a prison guard or
Yeah,
a
they're
warden or
taking him to
something.
the warrant.
Yeah, they're taking him to the warden and they ask him if I think he said you got Mexican blood in you and
you
or something.
sick?
So if you miss one line of the book, you wouldn't realize because they don't talk about Shadow's appearance much, except
No.
that everyone says, "You're a big guy. You're
Yeah.
a big guy." So I was like, "Really? It's a black guy?" But
I did the same thing.
I love Ian McShane as Mr. Wednesday. I mean, obviously we haven't seen anything yet, but just like Anthony said, Ian McShane is awesome, and I'm looking forward to him doing that.
don't talk about any of the other casting. Just spoilers.
Really?
But people know.
I mean, you can
No,
look up
no.
the cast at IMDb.
Like, they were announcing it all through the summer who was playing who.
Well, like what character's going to end up being what character?
Yeah.
Like who's I can't remember his name. Loki.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right. You're probably.
Oh,
and
those twists, no.
We don't even want to go any further than that because she's actually reading it.
Yeah.
So, we're roughly 10 minutes in. I think that's good for an intro. I think we'll have a lot more to talk about when we come back from watching the episode. Apparently, there's some pretty good things to talk about that happened in the first episode. So, I'll put this on pause. We will go back and we will watch the first episode, and we will come back and talk to you guys.
Well, that's my understanding of how it would go.
I don't know if that's supposed to
Where'd he
be
go?
$100.
I'll look at
Where he can click.
Save it.
So we're back
You on?
from... What?
Is it on?
It's on.
Oh.
Yes, we're back.
Oh my.
So, what'd you guys think?
I really liked it. I just have a lot of questions. Who's the guy, the younger, rich-looking kid that was smoking the frog or whatever? That's like, I can ask these questions, but I know you guys can't tell me
No,
because
Liz
it would
will tell
ruin
you.
the entire
No.
series.
Go ahead,
Like,
Lise.
He's.
You liked him.
I like his character. I like.
What do you like about him? The cornrows?
No, I love his hair though. The top part is awesome.
So is he
Looks like ice cream.
What god is he? Like, he's got to be something.
He's the god of technology.
Is that a real thing?
He's technical boy.
Do you think more people are on their iPhone than go to church?
I don't know. A lot of people go to church.
A lot of people go to church. More people use phones.
That's kind of something in the book is like whatever people worship, it becomes a manifestation of a god.
Okay. That makes sense.
Well, I mean, like, just think about it. How often do people go to church? 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours on the weekend?
Yeah.
And how often are people on their phones or on the internet or, what I mean?
That's actually
Does that make
kinda
sense?
cool. That's a cool twist on
A god?
Yeah, that's cool.
But in the book, it seemed this one was abstract, like he went to another dimension. But in the book, he just got pulled into a limo
Yeah.
and then kicked out of a limo. So
Yes.
the show's doing a lot of
Taking a lot of liberty. Liberty?
It's doing a lot of crazy. I
Liberty.
mean, for one, it's going in and out of a dream sequence. Like when he's imagining a buffalo or whatever. None of that, I don't think.
The buffalo thing absolutely happened.
Yeah.
That early in the book?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes.
I don't remember, but
Yes.
I hadn't read it. You remember Buffalo Dream?
Yeah, in the beginning.
Fire coming out its eyes.
I just read the first issue of the comic,
And it was in there.
and it was in the very first issue. There's 3 of us that laughed at Seaman when he was talking about
The Viking narration.
the Vikings and those seamen never went on the water
course.
again, stepped foot in a boat again. But we all looked at each other and started laughing. It was ridiculous. The intro was long. I just wrote a couple things down on my phone.
The intro credits?
Yeah. It was really long. No, you don't think so? That was like 2.5 minutes.
I would have to compare it to
I'd have to compare it to Game of Thrones.
other shit. I don't know.
Game of Thrones, first of all, the intro at this point is horseshit. Yes, I love the song for the first episode when I come back to the season, but now it's like 3.5 minutes. I just want to watch the goddamn episode.
So Game of Thrones is too long too?
Yes.
I think you have a problem with intros.
No, the intro should be
Did you
like
think-
Scrubs,
Did you
like
think Iron Fist was too
10
long?
seconds. Yes, it was too long. Give me a 10-second intro. Like,
You just don't appreciate intros like
But
most
Game of
people.
Thrones intro changes.
Yeah, I like seeing all the new buildings pop up and stuff.
I'm
and
good
then,
for once a season. Thank you. Would you rather have
like
that?
the first episode of
Yes.
the season. That
Would you
I could
rather
see
have that or like 3 more minutes of content over 10 episodes, like 30 extra minutes?
I would. Yeah, I'd be down for that.
They wouldn't do that. That's just
I
the intro's
understand.
filler. I know you're such a hater for intros.
No, like Scrubs has the intro. It's like 10 seconds. Or Fear the Walking Dead. It's like this noise and it goes and it just shows the little symbol. Get right into the show. I don't need the long intro.
I concur.
Bullshit.
So you didn't like that it was a totem?
I could have just done the totem.
So the first time you're watching it and you still think it's too long.
Yes.
It's not even the second time.
Yes. I really like the visuals of the show. It reminded me of Hannibal, but I get the feeling that it's going to play right into what Cory said as this episode was fairly slow, right? I mean, it got through a lot of content, but I mean, it seemed to not flow completely.
They covered a lot of the book.
Yeah, it actually did. Like, it covered a lot of the book, but it's everything. It skipped some things that I figured they would have left in.
Like what?
I didn't write that down. I
Oh.
should have. The prison scene wasn't as long because he had a meeting with his parole officer before he met with the warden in the book, and that's when, like we were talking about before the break, it actually had the discussion about what he was and stuff,
Right.
which isn't a big deal because I guess in this medium you can see what he looks like. Overall, I really liked it. Ian McShane is so good as Mr. Wednesday. That's one slick guy.
Yeah, every time he came on, he always had some good shit to say. One guy that kind of confused me though was this leprechaun guy that he gets in
Mad
the fight
Sweeney?
with.
Matt Sweeney?
Yeah, like what's his deal?
He was just
he
there
seems
for
so
you.
cool.
He is. He's a leprechaun.
Yeah.
Oh, so he actually is a leprechaun. He's
Yes.
not just messing around. Okay,
No, he's a leprechaun.
that's sick.
You didn't see him pulling coins up from nowhere?
Yeah, but what if he was just messing with him, like he's some other god? I don't know.
How would that coin have gone up in the air and just stayed there and like he walked around him?
He,
Oh,
could
he
say,
could've
he,
done
he
it.
could be a god, but just saying he's a leprechaun, he could have been. So, you take him at his word. He is the manifestation of an Irish
of a giant Irish leprechaun?
god.
That guy. How tall do you think that guy is in real life? He's got to be.
I can look it up.
Probably like 6'5".
That could have been movie magic.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is like 5'6", and stands up with everybody on
He
Avengers
wears
and
heels
stuff.
too.
Yeah, I don't think he just wears heels. I think he wears like
Lifts?
short stilts.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Well, I mean, they did the same like magic trick like in that one scene with the guy and the girl. Like she got like immensely big and like he got super small.
Yeah.
immensely.
As
Yeah.
he just got inhaled into her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can say vagina.
Yeah, it's all right.
Vagina is a technical term. It's not like you're using like a hard C.
I think it's the way that it's set up. Inhaling into her vagina is kind of just like, holy crap, what? Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little different.
That dude just getting lit up with all those arrows. I was like, what?
Yeah, that
in
was
the
cool.
beginning? Fuck, dude. Some of the action like sequences in this show are like unlike any show that I've ever seen, and that's
along the
one thing I
lines
really
of
liked.
300.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's not going to be known for its action.
No.
I mean, there's certainly those things,
That do happen.
but I mean, it's not something that's known for its action. It's going to be a slower paced show. I'm excited to see Crispin Glover
That's new.
whenever he comes along. No, I really like Mr. Wednesday. I like the guy who plays Shadow. I'm fine with him. It seemed in the book he was a little more emotionless. Then in this, you could see the emotion on
He
his face.
wasn't really friendly with Mr. Wednesday. Mr.
No, he
Wednesday
was not.
annoyed him. He was like, how do you keep ending up on my flight? How do you... And this one, he didn't question it. He's like, I kind of like you, old man.
Yeah, but you could tell by the look on his face, like when he would say stuff about like his friend or his wife, you could see on his face like, how the fuck did you know that? Like you could totally.
He never... In the book, he never even asked. He just... All his magical shit happens.
He just rolls with it.
And 100% rolls... Like, he's not a normal person like, what the fuck? Not at all.
Cory said that while he was reading the book. He didn't like that Shadow was so just basically monotone, not just voice wise, but emotion wise. He's just there.
When you see magic stuff happen, especially what happens with the coin coming out in the next issue or next episode, probably. He's just like, okay, that's normal. You'll see. It's
Every time I look at him, I just think like he's like the black version of Kratos from God of War. Like he's just got that face. I swear, if they ever make a live action movie, it's gonna be him.
I'm sure they want to. I mean, that's a property that
So what's his name is 6'5".
he's 6'5".
Yes.
On it. What's
How tall is
Ricky Whittle.
yeah, the guy that plays Shadow? Out of curiosity, because the size differential was
Enormous.
was pretty big. But like you said, it probably just movie magic.
if he's 6'5", and the guy's 6, that probably looked right.
He was like a whole head taller than him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nothing right now.
Well, are we waiting for how
No.
tall this guy is? Or?
Your Mrs. I was waiting for this to come on for like a year,
To
and
disappoint.
then you just nothing.
What? No, it's fun thinking what everybody else thinks,
So,
especially these ones that haven't read it.
You weren't happy?
No, I was very happy. It's very Hannibalistic, which no one's going to understand what that means.
Yeah, I watched Hannibal.
No, I know.
Didn't you
I
watch
watched
Hannibal?
No,
a
Emma
couple
did.
episodes.
Just the way scenes were shot, blood,
Very, very similar.
very, very similar. Musical cues, very, very similar. I think that's my only disappointment because it should be a little bit different.
How? What do you mean?
From Hannibal.
Unless you saw it, you probably wouldn't understand. Because just the way they'll set up a scene and the way the music plays and the way it just kind of slows.
It was very different. It's hard to pinpoint exactly. With the guy that's the showrunner on this is the same showrunner as Hannibal, so that's why you're drawing the comparison. It's music was such an important part of Hannibal. It really set the mood for scenes, and I know that's with most movies and stuff, and some movies do it better than others, but it was just such a different, like in Hannibal there would be like this classical music playing while he's preparing food, and you don't know if he's preparing people or if he's preparing real food, because he
Right.
would do both, and it's just it was a very fun show to watch visually. I mean, there's not a lot of, I'm not a cinematographer, I don't know about all this stuff, but when something stands out, you can tell, like when Zack Snyder first came around, and he has a very different way of filming things and doing
Just
things.
slow-mo.
Lens flares.
That's J.J. Abrams.
Oh, duh.
but yes, with lens flares, they put their own touch on it.
Bar scene was fantastic.
I
Yes.
like that a lot.
That was fantastic. It was on point.
I love when he's just punching him in the face and he's just like laughing and he just keeps hitting him and he's just bleeding.
They did a good job with Matt Sweeney.
I was very happy with that.
He's my favorite so far.
I'm curious if it's going to resonate with people who haven't read it, because like Game of Thrones, you watch first episode, you're like, oh, I want to see what's happening. First episode, you're at the, when it's over, you're like, what the hell did just happen?
Yeah. It's a little different wanting
You can't even tell
to
where it's going, to be honest.
know what happens next and not knowing what's going on at all. It is a little... hopefully people give it a shot, because... I mean, obviously it's going to have 8 episodes this season, but if it doesn't do good ratings-wise, are they really going to put
More money into it?
more money into it?
I was a little disappointed in the way they shifted the wife, Robbie's wife. I kind of wanted to see her spit into the coffin. That
I was
would've been
waiting
really
for
fun.
that, and I'm like, oh, that never happened.
I don't remember that. It's been a little while since I read the book.
So she walks in during the ceremony and has flowers in her hand and puts them in the casket and just spits in her face.
Well,
Everyone's like,
Well,
Yes. Because nobody else knew.
I didn't like that actress.
yeah, what?
Oh,
what's
her
wrong?
face, man.
Just
bad plastic surgery.
Her top teeth were way too
You know
forward.
what? I don't think it's a good drunk acting. I didn't
She wasn't too messy.
buy it. I
No.
don't know.
Why don't people just actually get drunk when they're trying to act drunk? That'd be the best. That'd be great.
Can they do that?
Yeah, they
Why
can.
not?
Method acting. Daniel Day would do it.
Yeah, because I'm sure no actors are ever on drugs when they're
Oh, well,
when they're filming.
very true.
Pineapple Express, they're smoking real ganj, you know?
Every single time?
Not every time, but
It would never get filmed.
Yeah, everybody would just stop.
they both have their cards, so they can totally do that.
No, I understand, but I mean, if you're smoking as much as they smoked in Pineapple Express,
It could just be really low grade, man.
would you be able to remember all of your lines? I'm no
I'm
expert.
pretty
on
I'm
sure-
that.
not an actor, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I heard before Cheech and Chong didn't smoke in their movies. If they didn't smoke in theirs, I doubt Franco and Rogan
You have to
did.
think it's totally different times, though. Like when Cheech and Chong were filming movies, it's
Right.
not like there were completely different laws back then than there are when.
No, I'm sure it would be legal, but we got hundreds of $1 million in studio money. You can't just be fucking around. Like, you gotta get the
We're
scene
20 days behind filming.
done. Yeah.
But I'll say for like an outsider looking in, like I like it. Like I like what they're doing with it. I like all the action scenes. I like even the non-action scenes. I think it's got a good storyline and it's got the potential for a good like series. But still, a lot of the time,
You have no
because
idea
I haven't read the book, I have no
If
fucking
you
clue what's
saw it
going
on TV randomly without a bunch of people saying it's
Like,
the best
what is
show
happening?
ever,
I would probably not watch it again.
But
But because I've met you guys and I respect you guys' opinion, I want to watch more.
See
of
what
it
happens.
just to see, or maybe even get the book and read it because it seems like it's worth a read.
I have it.
now you just done your own rave. Don't bother.
As
What-
far as that goes,
as a favor for us, don't read it until the show's over, so it doesn't cloud your judgment. Because you'd be one of 2 people who,
haven't read it.
yeah, in its entirety.
When I started reading the book, it took me a little while to get into it. I'd say like 150 pages in, finally I'm like, okay, I wanted to keep reading, but it was a slow start for me.
There are like 20-page breaks where it just goes into, meanwhile, here's this one chick eating a dude with her vagina.
It doesn't even say meanwhile. It's the middle of a chapter and
Right.
it shifts to a completely different...
Yeah.
And
Time,
I'm like-
place, existence.
I went back and I'm like,
Where are we?
where am I? Like, because when you're reading, sometimes you always can't wait till a chapter ends. You got to just stop sometimes. And I'm like, I don't like doing that, but with those chapters, some of them are pretty long. And you go, okay, I got to stop here. And then you pick up, you read 2 pages of something, and then you're completely somewhere else and there's no break. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
hell just
See,
happened?
I liked that. It was nice to break up the book and break up the story.
That's what you do. You do it with chapters. That's how you break up a book.
Or at least give some kind of inclination, like, hey, we're breaking from this. Check this
Yeah,
out.
he's not like that.
There were no spaces. It was like paragraph to paragraph.
But have you read his
it was
other books?
One space.
Half of another book.
Which he really hasn't gotten into.
Yeah. It's kind of tough.
Which one?
Good Omens, which I'm the only one who's read that.
But I've read his comics. I mean, I understand the style. I get that he's just different, but I mean, it's hard to keep people going. Obviously, I love the book. I've read it. I liked it a lot, but to break something like that, not to like even change it into like italics or change it into something so you know
What the heck's going
what
on?
the heck's going on.
It's like, it seems like it was meant to confuse you in the beginning.
Yeah. But
How'd you feel about the historian?
At the very beginning?
being introduced that way instead
That was
of later.
cool.
See, because in the book, I didn't know he was one writing all those little short stories.
Okay.
So
I don't think anybody knew that until you got into the book. Like,
even after I read it, I'm like, after I read little facts about it, like, oh, those were the memoirs he was writing. Like,
right.
so a character you haven't met yet, he's like, he is a god or whatnot. All those little coming to America stories,
that was
Oh,
writing.
yeah.
the Vikings,
Yes.
those are all written from like the beginning of
And
this.
character that'll come in later.
His point of view. It's him telling the story to the audience, which is
Who's
the
that
reader.
reading?
So he's telling the story of.
Not the main character, but like the Viking part.
Yeah.
Like there's a little story about Vikings and American gods. It's just in the middle of a chapter. It tells you about how this god came to America.
So that was how Odin came to America.
And it has, I think it has a leprechaun one with something Irish
It does.
god.
Yes.
And it had Bilquis, not how she came to America, but her exploits there. There's going to be a taxi one in 2 episodes.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, yes.
a long break that is just weird. And even like it doesn't add to the story either. Like maybe the mythology to it, but not the actual.
See, I disagree.
It doesn't come together.
I think they're all. I
Like-
can't even say because
like,
I'm just going to ruin it for some people.
Like Bilquis, whatever, does not affect the main plot of the story. She is. It adds to the mythology to it
Right.
of what they can do, how they get their power, but to the actual plot, none of those stories matter.
Interesting.
To put it into the most basic part for the people that haven't read it, it's like gods are worshipped and being worshipped is power. As you're not worshipped, you're forgotten. As you're forgotten, you disappear, basically. I mean, if you put it in the most basic. So
And America is a great melting pot of gods because everybody brings different gods
yeah.
at different
So
times.
generations past, if you're saying like an extinct tribe in Africa, they worship this god, that god's disappeared because nobody worships it anymore. So when nobody worships you, you have no more power, and you basically go away.
Okay, so that's why this god of technology is so like.
He's thriving.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why he's
Yeah.
got these weird lackeys that are like faceless men. And
Yeah.
It's almost translated to even money in the real sense. Like these gods actually need money sometimes. Like they scam people to get on an airplane or whatnot. It's like the gods are thriving in one sense or another. They actually are doing well off, like almost financially.
Yeah.
Which made it seem like in the book, because one pulls up in a limo. He's got, even though he's like a little kid, like he's a kid with pimples, but he's rolling hard with cronies.
Rolling hard.
Roll-
So
Rolling
that's
hard,
that's
yeah.
what you were talking about when you're talking about the kid with pimples is like god
Yes.
technology.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
In the book, he's described
That's
a
what
little
he's described.
different.
Yeah.
Still, same attitude, more or less.
Man,
Some people
Ian
really like
McShane
that
killed it,
attitude.
though.
Some people really like that attitude.
It's not. I think they picked a good character. That's all. That
He
was
looks
it.
goofy as shit, though, if you see him outside of the way he looks on the show.
As long as
Oh,
he doesn't
see,
have
I
that
haven't.
haircut, he looks probably totally fine because that is a fucked up.
No, he looks
It
weird.
reminds
And
me.
his
It's
teeth.
totally Willy Wonka like esque. Like that's what I feel like when I'm.
You see
like,
Gene Wilder when you
No,
look
not,
at
not that one. No, just like the whole.
So Johnny Depp.
Yeah, that whole idea. Because he looks like one of the little guys in the beginning that melts. You guys did not watch it as much as I did.
Who
Because it's a
melted?
terrible movie.
Those little characters at the beginning when they do the song and he's standing outside with everybody and then they all catch fire and then they melt.
I've seen it once,
Oh.
dude.
I know what you're talking about.
Wait,
Yeah,
what's
it's
going on?
great.
That movie was still awful.
Charlie.
It's
and the Chocolate Factory.
amazing.
With the one with Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I'm
He likes it.
I
He likes parts of it,
liked parts
especially.
of it. I thought the kids were better in the newer one than the older one.
I do too.
And I liked the cool candy. But to
The
say
cool
it was
candy.
great, he put the chocolate egg and
I
grabbed
know.
the Joe's mouth and it hatched a
You like the Oompa
Chip.
Loompa wraps?
no.
No.
But I do
that's what
like.
did
But I do like. What's his name? I hate that I can't think. It's
What, the
Deep
dad?
Roy.
Oh.
He's the guy. He's the little
Right,
guy in Star
right.
Trek as well.
I remember liking Christopher Lee. And then the Hall of Flags gag.
But back to this.
He's 6'2", by the way. Just
Is he?
yes.
So they did do some movie magic there.
Right.
What?
What?
Can't be right. Okay,
No
that's,
way.
That's Bruno Langley. I'm like, that kid, Techno Boy, is not.
10
That-
feet tall?
I'm
What?
No, it said 38. I'm like,
Oh,
no.
yeah, no. He's got to be in his 20s.
No. Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but I can't find it.
No? He's ageless?
Yeah, that's right. And I just don't like.
He's the guy of technology. He doesn't want you to find his age.
Performs
Yeah.
ages 16 to 30. when you go to the IMDb Pro profiles, if you pay for it, you can get like celebrities' contact information and stuff, and like what their resume is basically. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
That's how you get jobs. Lesser known ones, not like Johnny Depp. You're not gonna get a hold of Johnny Depp.
I don't know.
Unless
No.
you went to Disneyland recently.
Yeah.
That'd have been cool. Did you see that?
I did see it.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch this season. You know, I didn't really have that many gripes other than the intro being too long, which when it comes to the show isn't a big deal. Like I said, Shadow could have been a little more emotionless, but you know, everything. What you wanted him to be more?
No, I'm glad. I like how he ended up here. So I'm glad he's not quite as his book counterpart.
That's fine.
Cory's happy. Everything's fine.
If Cory's happy with something, it's a good thing. But man, Ian McShane is gonna be great in this show.
I'm
Yes, he
excited
is.
for it. It was a dead giveaway that he's Odin because of the eye thing when he said he's only got one eye. Dead giveaway.
And you kind of get that while you're reading it too, but more and more and more stuff develops, which it's cool. I mean, it's going to be fun. I mean, I really don't know how long they're going to stretch this one book out to. I mean, like Katrina said before, if they're going to go into the book, if they're in discussions with Neil Gaiman about the second book, if there is a second book, because how long has it been rumored?
Well, he just firmly started talking about it now. I don't think he ever planned on doing a subsequent piece to it, because Anasazi Boys was supposed to be the offshoot.
Now he's getting that movie money.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think he really has to worry about anything, honestly.
I bet you his book sales are through the roof.
Oh, I know they are. He goes and signs books in the airports when he's traveling.
That's cool. He does that.
That's cool.
That's pretty neat. And he gets $45,000 for every time he speaks anywhere.
Nice.
So that's a pretty nice speaking fee.
Just too
Yeah, I
bad.
don't think he's hurting for cash.
I don't know if you could look it up. We were discussing at one point who has more book sales, Neil Gaiman or Martin, George R. R. Martin. It's probably Gaiman because he has so many more books. Outside
Comics, kids' books.
Yeah, he has
George
a
R. R.
lot.
Martin has a lot of books, though. That's
Does-
not even Game of Thrones. I mean, I don't never read a single one, but he has a number of
I
books.
haven't read them.
How many other books?
I know. And
Maybe he should stop writing them and finish Game of
I
Thrones.
know. When you open like the thing is like it gives you all his his list of books. It was pretty deep.
They're both way
Is it
behind.
the
Well,
like compilations of short stories? Because he doesn't write all those.
No idea. I haven't read any of them. I think he has other actual series.
They're no R.L. Stein. So
Oh,
No.
what?
Do you think?
No, he said he has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books.
right.
Yeah, he
That's a lot of
puts out like
hundreds.
one a week. Next week, are we going to see the Sledgehammer guy?
Chernobyl.
Hopefully, they didn't show a preview for this.
No, they didn't.
Well, we didn't watch it.
Oh,
I paused it.
Oh, he didn't. Okay, well, we'll watch it in a second. You know the Russian guy from Armageddon?
Yeah.
He's like this Russian
God of Death.
god of death.
That's badass.
you probably won't know that for a while, but he's in it.
Yeah, he kills people with a hammer. He talks about it right away. I'm not giving
Oh, yeah.
anything away. He
No.
talks about it like right away.
It was like his job in a slaughterhouse. It's
Yeah.
what he killed animals with a sledgehammer.
That was his mortal job.
Yeah, and he loved it.
I watched a preview for John Wick 2 and seen that he's in it, and I was like, ooh.
I don't want to hurt,
I haven't seen it yet.
Your
spoil
feelings?
it for you, but he's in it for less than 5 minutes.
Oh.
Spoilers.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
The reason he's in it is really good to disconnect the first one from the second one to make it its own story.
Okay, that's cool.
I mean, and that's what he's used for. He's in the very beginning. It's
You
basically
don't have to go into it on the
okay.
podcast.
All right.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Any of
nobody
them?
else.
No, I saw the first one. I just haven't seen
The
the
second one was even better.
I want to watch it so
It
bad.
was so good.
I waited so long to watch John Wick, and it was like the ultimate hype movie. And I was like, yeah, you know what? It's probably not going to live up to it. And it exceeded what I thought, and it made me so excited for John Wick 2.
Do you like it better than Twilight?
Oh, jeez.
Way better than Twilight. Way cooler.
Are you sure?
That's
Are
a
you sure
benchmark?
we can
How could
replay
you
that?
not like anything better than Twilight?
Oh, I'll play his very enthusiastic.
Oh, it was great.
We did a podcast and it was like 2.5 hours. It was almost
I
2
know.
hours.
and like
Long.
an hour of it was me talking about Twilight.
I took movie franchises and I put them in a hat, and we drew them, and we had to argue which movie franchise was better, regardless of how we felt about it. And he had to argue Twilight, and he was so enthusiastic about it and knew so much about it. It was
It was
comical.
good.
Well, that's just he's good at the game then. I mean,
Was the
I
only
don't know.
But then he got a cool movie afterwards. He's like,
I don't know.
I think he got Harry Potter and he couldn't argue it.
No, it was Kevin Smith movies.
I think
versus...
you got both of those.
No, I didn't win the Kevin Smith movies.
No, you didn't
Who's
win
the only
them.
one
I think
who
you got that
won?
and Harry
I
Potter.
think he only won Twilight.
I would be good at the opposite of that game. How bad I could bash Twilight. That would be the game I would win.
I watched the first two.
I've watched all of them, and I'm not proud of it. I hate them.
The only
Not
thing,
proud of it.
the only thing I was thinking was like werewolves versus vampires, and I had
but it
to
was so
imagine how
great.
badass that it
Underworld's
could be.
better.
Oh, yeah, that's odd. Yeah, I haven't seen the new one. Has anybody seen the new Underworld?
No, I don't think anybody saw the new Underworld.
Kate Beckinsale did.
I don't
Did
think.
she even see it?
I never thought Underworld was all that great.
I like them. They're not great movies.
I think it's interesting.
But you liked him.
I like the first one.
I like them better
I
than
mean,
Twilight.
the first one's okay.
Well,
I'd say
By
I
a
like the
margin.
first Twilight better than the first Underworld.
Really?
Really?
It had Bill Nighy in it.
Yeah, I didn't really
So
like
that
those
vampire.
movies at all.
Ugh.
I mean, that shows you what.
They're not good movies.
And
but
I watched the
they're-
first Twilight like 2 or 3
They're
times.
no Twilight.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I have too.
I wanted to see what the hype was about, and I was like, "Hey, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's not very good."
I can't say anything. I've read all the books and I've seen all the movies, so.
Weren't they? They? Oh no, it wasn't Twilight. It was your 50 Shades of Grey. Was
A terrible movie?
Yes.
no? Yeah, I don't know. I've
Oh,
never seen
it's
it.
terrible.
But she wrote
Started
those.
as a what you call it?
Yeah,
Oh,
she
as
wrote
fan
those as
fiction?
fan fiction.
Yeah, it started out that she was going to write Twilight fan fiction, and then she just went off on her own thing. Because there's no reference, there's nothing to do with Twilight.
The
in them.
Twilight lady wasn't a writer either. She was doing wasn't she like just a housewife,
I
a
don't
Mormon
know.
housewife or something?
Well, you
Just
could-
the housewife.
You could still write at home.
No,
Stab, stab, stab.
It was like her fantasy.
Well, and J.K. Rowling was
right?
was on welfare when she wrote Harry Potter. I mean, it's not like
Yeah,
your previous job has to do with what
I like
write
what
a
you're saying.
successful book.
She's the lady who wrote Twilight is just as good as J.K. Rowling. You
I'm-
said that. Congratulations, Father.
I'm just saying anybody can write. It doesn't matter what your current job is.
No, not anybody can write. I mean, people suck at writing. Some people.
Anybody can write.
Have you
Yeah,
seen my
'cause some
handwriting?
suck at it.
Haven't you seen Ratatouille? Anybody can cook.
Yeah, rats.
It's true.
Great.
Ratatouille is an excellent movie.
It is.
I'm glad you draw inspiration from Pixar movies.
Going
I can
off
do
on a
anything.
tangent.
That's what it is.
I can be a car.
You can be
Fire
a
truck.
No, it's J.K. Rowling. No, have you ever seen the sheet of paper she had where she planned out like every single thing that was going to happen in the entire story? Like everything was pre-planned. I'm sure she changed things along the way, but like everything
All the milestones.
that happened was already. It's just everything connected. It was crazy.
I like to see George R. R. Martin's board of how these characters. Well, I'm going to put him in book 1 because in book 5 I'm going to get his head chopped off. But book 1 through 4, I'm going to make everybody love him.
I think it's the opposite. I think he writes down names that he's used once, and he'd be like, "Oh, I could pull that from here, and I can stick it here later down the road."
It's set up so much more than that. It just couldn't be 100% like that.
I don't believe that. If he pre-planned it out so well, the last book would be written already.
Yeah, it's not even the last. There's going to be 2 more, I think.
Is there?
Yeah.
No, I thought there was going to be one book, and it's going to
It's
be like 20 pages.
The Winds of Winter and
20
something
pages.
else.
20 pages of him saying,
Bullshit.
"You guys
I'm
waited."
so sorry. This book is so late.
Well, and the thing is, when did the first one come out?
90s, I think.
Yeah, I read the first one before the show came on, and I read the second one as it was coming on, and I haven't gotten any further.
I think between like the 5 books, I've read 10 books. Does that make sense?
You've read each one twice?
No, it has to be more than that then, yeah. 'Cause I read the first one at least 3 times. Because I read like 1, 2, and then I was like, I took a long break. Let me read them again. 1, 2, 3.
No.
That makes sense.
Oh, and this is also because long breaks because I did not want to catch up in the books to the show.
Maybe you should go to prison.
And I started reading
Yeah.
like
Good
during
idea.
season 2. So you know what I mean, I took a break. I did not want to catch up and read shit that hadn't happened yet.
Yes.
So nothing was spoiled for me in the book. So the Red Wedding was all in the show, which is way more worth it.
He hasn't got there yet.
Okay.
It's a wedding.
There's red.
And it's
Wait.
red.
What, are you actually watching the show now? Like you just started or something?
No. So I was watching it on deployments and everything was honky dory, but then deployments end, and then I go back to the real world, and then I stopped doing like all TV and movie watching. I go back to doing like regular, well, not regular people things, but regular to me things.
That stuff's regular to me.
Well, I just don't have time.
Not
for
watching
it.
HBO is not regular.
I'm usually like doing car things or like spending time with people versus like huddled up in a dark little room with AC on and watching movies until my eyes bleed.
That's the best.
So wait,
anyway, so he...
Will you catch up? Oh, you actually watch
No,
it?
he's
in the
putting
third
down our
season.
lifestyle.
He's in the third season.
Actively?
Right now.
Like
Yes.
We tried to get Lacie to watch it for so long.
For a
years.
really long time.
Until she got a new cell phone, finally, and then she was able to watch it.
Who watches a show on their cell phone for that long?
It wasn't that long.
Like, you have a perfectly good TV right in front of you.
Okay,
No, I'm good.
No, the first season I got, and I watched it on the regular TV. It was later. It was like the last 2 seasons.
But that's still way too much.
A whole season. I'm traveling. I need to take a flight, so I'll watch one episode.
So he started watching it again, but then I got him on Peaky Blinders, so we're in the last season of that.
Because that's way better than Game of Thrones.
Way better.
It's not that it's way
Says
better.
nobody ever.
It's,
I
just,
love that
it's a
show.
quick, short, good series, and like I'm nearly done with it. So then I can continue crushing or catching back up to where I was on Game of Thrones because I was apparently the last thing I remember was the dragons getting locked away, and then like we watched like the beginning episode of that season or maybe the season prior, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So now I'm trying to go back and
I would say that's something you should rewatch like again from the start. Otherwise, there's so much like characters they introduce in one episode and 2 seasons later it's like, oh, here that guy's back.
Hey, they're back.
Like the old man who went with Daenerys. You see him, he disappears for like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't, like, if you just watch season 3 onwards.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, you don't get anywhere near the impact, but that's a big commitment. It's 6, 7 seasons? What have we
6.
watched? 6? So 60 episodes, 60 hours.
that's
It's
why I
probably
like
like
saving.
62.
Because of some special.
Yeah.
That's why I like saving seasons like that for deployment because then I can powerhouse. Hopefully, it's already to the ending point or close to. Versus like if I'm here in America and I'm just like, oh god, let me wait 6 months or 3 months or 2 months for the next episode.
Well, that's
to come
what
out.
I did. Is I binged it so fast because I thought it was happening in the fall, and then I got done. And Katrina's like, "No, it doesn't start till April," and I was really sad.
That's why when they leaked like the first like 4 episodes, I was like, yes, I'm so doing it, and I watched all the episodes, and then everyone was so pissed because I knew what happened and nobody else did.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that.
It was great. It was
We
so
watched
worth it.
one time. They were like, "Oh, you can watch this episode, and you can watch next week's on HBO Go." And I was like, "All right." And then you had to wait 2 weeks for another episode. I'm like, "Oh, this sucks."
Yeah, it makes you sad.
It's
But-
weird. Getting
But you have to do that for spoilers, otherwise people tell you what happened.
I don't get that. Doesn't typically happen to me.
Every time you miss a Walking Dead episode, you go to Twitter. I was like, oh man, I found out what happened.
What?
I just don't get on Twitter.
Or you watch Walking Dead 3 hours late and you're on your phone like, oh, I just found out spoilers.
No, I stay off of Facebook and Twitter.
It's because you fell for it before.
Yeah, that's why I don't do it. I mean,
Yeah.
why would you? At this day and age, if you find out spoilers,
It's your fault.
it's your fault. All you have to do is put on. If somebody tells you face to face, that sucks. Like if somebody tells you Snape died.
Yeah.
That's
That's my fault. My bad.
It's your fault.
I should have read the books.
Yeah. So that's my fault. But if you find out on social media, you know it's going to be on there for a show like Game of Thrones.
You know,
or Walking
I hate
Dead.
when like places like IGN puts it
In the title?
A spoiler in the title. I was like, come on,
That's
asshole.
messed up.
Like, we give a send off to Tyrion because he got beheaded this episode, and you're like, oh, I didn't watch it on Sunday. I want to watch it Monday. You know, and so you immediately go to a website like that. And that's why Game of Thrones I have to watch a lot if you only show because I don't want people to.
Yeah.
Ruining.
Yeah.
I immediately thought of you, Lacie, when he said he read 813 books in prison.
I was like, "Oh, that's so many books."
That's a lot of books.
I love it.
You love prison?
Yes.
Maybe
I
you should
love
go to prison.
No thanks.
I love reading.
You get plenty of time for that.
I used to love reading. It's just hard to find time now.
I was reading every night.
And then I happened.
Yep.
It stuff gets in the way. I mean, I was reading every day on lunch, and then I edit these stupid pieces of shit during lunch. Otherwise, I don't find time. Like I'm behind.
Some people
By
have,
one.
Some people have kids
caught
that
up.
they can't read.
I did like 25 minutes of it today.
Oh, good for you.
So, but that's like the first episode of Saul. Now tomorrow's the 4th episode.
Yeah, I know. We need to catch up on that.
We haven't watched the last week's episode.
Oh.
Yeah. This is also, I think the podcast is going to start to get a lot better because Cory and I are no longer working together.
Aww.
Aww.
I'll say hi.
I think it gets worse. Let's see.
You know, it might get worse because we might be rambling about oh, did you do this in Breath of the Wild? Or, oh, did you see this or that? Or it'll be all the stupid shit we got out of the way during work. So there's that. Come on, guys.
So back to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a big venture away from the show now.
I thought we were done talking about it.
It's definitely got my interest, and I'm definitely going to keep up with the show now.
But you don't have stars.
But I have the internet.
He will find a way.
Does it make you want to read the book?
Anthony doesn't
No,
read.
I don't know how to read.
Does it make you
I
want
gave you-
listen to the audiobook?
I gave you Ready Player One to read, and I genuinely think you would probably get through it in like 2 weeks because once you start reading it, you would like it probably more than anything you've ever read.
Probably.
I would tell you,
won't.
you should actually, well, I don't know if you're into 80s movies, that would have a big draw because that book has half that. But like all the little video game stuff in there,
Yeah,
Well, I still haven't finished the book I'm trying to read right now,
which is what?
James.
which is The Blade itself.
Oh my
from
God.
The First Law trilogy.
Yeah, I understand James wants everybody to read this.
It's really good so far.
And I'm sure it is, but this book is like 200 pages and it has to deal with video games.
it's not
Yeah.
long, it's short.
What I'm saying is if you have to beat this video game that's like 2 hours and it's awesome, and then you have to beat this video game that's 25 hours and it's awesome, be like, you know what, I don't beat the 2 hour video game because then I could put everything into this other one.
But I'm also playing 2 games right now that are all
I
that
hate
are very
you.
long. So it's like
What 2 games?
Mass Effect, and then I'm still trying to get through Shadow of Mordor because I gave up on it and now
Good game.
I restarted it.
Both good games.
Yes.
So what would you give the rating, if you had to give a rating on episode 1? Because Slash Film gave it like an A or 90 or whatever they give fucking TV shows when they do ratings and stuff.
I'll give it an 8.
8 out of 10.
I'd say a B. I mean,
B. How many stars, Katrina?
It's gonna is all different.
He does not.
Every
Well,
time.
I like the material itself, so I'm biased. I would say 5.
What did you say? You said a B.
He said a B.
You said an 8.
Yep.
A percentage score. 1 to 100. What would you give it?
and then how many cats?
I would have to give it like a 75 or 80 because it's good. It's good the way they designed it, and it's good because like you guys have given me a little pre-hype on it. Not with the spoilers, but just like you guys were super
Minimum
anticipated,
spoilers.
and then so all in all, I think it deserves that. I mean, because there's still that factor where I'm just like I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
But you're intrigued.
I am intrigued enough to want to invest more mental time into watching it and or reading it. But I'm
it's
gonna
worth a read.
hold off on reading because
What?
you guys want the unbiased opinion. So
You want me to give it 4 out of 5 cats?
I was going to say meows.
4 out of 5 cats.
And I give it a triangle. No, I think we used all the scoring. I gave it, what, 2 thumbs up? I don't know.
that's another form of rating. Yeah.
I guess. I liked it. I'm happy with McShane, and I'm definitely, knowing where it's going, excited to see what's going to happen. Next week's episode will be Guardians. Guardians comes out next week.
That should be better.
Do we have Goblin Hand on?
I don't know.
I finally met this goblin
If
hand.
he watches it.
Well, he was like, granted he had been drinking, but he was like, I want to do it. I want to be on the podcast. He was basically in tears. So you'll see him at work. I won't. If he wants to be on and he's actually going to see it, let him know.
Okay.
So Guardians will be next week. We're all excited about that. Yeah, I'm trailing off here. Anything else, guys? It's gonna be a short episode.
Long enough.
Long enough? It's not. Well, yeah, it's about to be. Now that I'm rambling on and on. All right, I guess that'll be this week's episode of 9 to 5 Nerds with Robert Swathwood, Cory Urkel,
Bye-bye.
Katrina Swathwood,
See ya.
Cory number 2, Noel, Lacie Ewing,
Oh, no.
and Anthony Smith.
See you later, guys.
Ew.